Hi everybody, it's Naveen Ferguson here. Clearly, because it's the channel, that's my name. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about battling a defeatist mindset. There's many things that can be said, yes, but I'll just touch on one thing. When I sometimes hear, and I'm guilty about it too. I mean, every now and again, we're only human. We have doubts. Doubts are normal, but it's when you allow the doubts to really take hold of your optimistic vibrations, essentially, that poses a certain problem, because it affects. Okay, before I get into that, it's like when you want to go forward. I hear some people when they want to do certain things, and then they compare themselves with some other people who have done the same thing they may want to go after before them. But they're not necessarily coming across or giving an air of full-on confidence about their ability to actually make it happen. In fact, they may say, yeah, I'm going to be doing this X, Y, and Z, and then they compare themselves to an individual or individuals who've done it and said, well, it took them this long, so if I work this hard and stuff like that, hopefully by that time I'll definitely make it, or I'll definitely get there, or something like that. And the tone really does go lower most of the time, because they're almost like taking on the same journey or the same hurdles as the people who went before them in that capacity has had to overcome. But they don't necessarily have to go through the same hurdles. In fact, it's almost semi-impossible to a certain extent to go through the same hurdles as other people, because eras have changed. I mean, we have more options and more opportunities and other things like that and more tools that are more readily available to us. So when they say these things and they take on that vibration of saying in their mind, okay, they're setting themselves up, okay, well, even if I try this hard, I may not get it, or I may not get it until this time as compared to other people before me. That's taking on a certain level of a defeatist atmosphere, you know what I mean? Almost like saying, well, even if I don't make it, at least I tried, but even in the trying, you had a somewhat, you gave yourself a somewhat of expectancy of a higher possibility to fail in the first place, or an expectancy that it will take you just as long. Well, I'm trying to say that with that mindset, we have to battle that. And it's no, we have to believe in ourselves that we can overcome, we can overachieve, we can climb the mountain faster, Yes, you can take in the practical means of what it takes to do certain things, but overall, I think history, and I think just a certain structure of the human development, you would expect us to always be forging ahead and making the way better and faster and easier for the next generations to come. Side note, that's why I think it's sometimes annoying to me that I hear older generations saying, comparing this newer generations or whatever have you, and they're saying you can't expect this X, Y, and Z when it took them this long or whatever. And I'm that's not, I don't think that's the best thing to say to a younger generation in certain respects. I think it should be expected. You should be encouraged to advance and overtake those who've come before you. I mean, if you had to, first we came from walking basically, and then the wheel was invented, and you expect the next generation after to then remake the wheel in order to travel? No, they made, ships, and then they went to planes, and, well, I think it was wheel, car, ships, then planes, and then space, not to say that, yes, you make the road easier as the next generations come up. However, it doesn't mean that, advancement is easy, okay? Traveling with the car, the ship, and the plane, it's easier for now to travel. However, to advance, to overachieve, to make something new, that's where the next generation came up and made space travel. So even in their era, they had their difficulties, but advancing on the previous generation. You understand? So it doesn't have to take that long to learn or do certain things as the generations before you. And if you take on a defeatist mindset to say and compare to people who struggled in certain respects, you don't have to take on like the same struggles. You don't have to compare their shortcomings to your possible hurdles or your possible shortcomings. Don't take on those defeatist mindset, okay? Rather, work on looking more so at the strong positives that whoever you might be comparing yourself to has achieved and has aspired to be, and learn from things that have defeated them. Don't expect those same things to be a blockage for you, but figure out how to overcome it, because they have gone, the past generations have overcome certain things in certain respects during their time. So now you have to say, okay, they overcame it like this. So how, in my understanding, can I now overcome that without much effort, without much fuss and guff, as it were? Okay? So when you take on a more positive, more optimistic view of a process, even when you're comparing with other people who have went before you, it helps your vibration into attracting the positive influences that will assist you in your journey on whatever it is you're trying to get to. I'm not saying that you're not going to encounter certain hurdles. You may even encounter certain hurdles that are even more higher than the previous generation. I mean, for example, the previous generation, I'm sure in certain respects, they didn't have so much litigations. They probably didn't have much paperwork when it came to certain things. But these days, you have a mountain of paperwork. Oh my gosh, you know? But the point is just to really take it with a more positive, optimistic mindset, and not like chaining yourself into the same struggles as those who have gone before you, and somewhat expecting yourself to it's like giving yourself a possible high likelihood of failure because other people have failed and you're just going to try, and maybe you'll succeed. If you do, great. If you don't, well, don't take that understanding on. Go in there with a purpose, with an optimistic view, with courage, with tenacity, with a vindication to do your best. You know what I mean? Like, purposeful in an uplifted way. Like, psych yourself up to say, yes, I will achieve this. Yes, I will do great things. You understand? It's definitely what you say. So that will definitely help battle a defeatist mindset, especially because, I know people live in different circumstances and they deal with a lot of pessimism and a lot of people saying X, Y, and Z, and especially some older people who's saying like you have to toe the line or something like that. I'm like, no, you can overcome. You don't have to go through the same tribulations as your former people. Okay? Keep a more positive mindset. Like, just focus on you. Do you, And I think that's one of the greatest value points or vibrations you can put in your arsenal to battle against a defeatist mindset. Okay? Just keep encouraging yourself. Keep an optimistic view as best you can. Surround yourself with more positive people who are edifying you, encouraging you, and lifting you up. Okay? Anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that. So this has been almost like a rant. But anyway, I wish you all the best. Remember to please like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. Feel free to further support the channel by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/Naveen Ferguson. I am accepting donations at this time. Information for that is also in the description box below. And also remember, I am offering personal readings as well at this time. Okay, I wish you all the best. Bye.